Hi, welcome back to Rachel Mac PT on the YouTube channel. Today I'm down at the stunning Emu Point on Albany on the southwest coast of the Great Southern. It's an absolutely stunning day today, so I thought we'll grab the opportunity to come down to the beach and film a lower body stretch video. Okay, this is very much aimed at beginners again, and we'll be focusing on the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes and the hip flexors. So, starting off with the stretch, what we want to do is we want to sit up nice and tall, put the soles of our feet together and let your knees fall down as much as they can. Now it could be that your knees are sitting up quite high if your adductors are fairly tight, and that's fine too. Over time, as you do this more and more often, the knees will be able to relax down, even if you just pulse them a little bit and let them fall down a little bit further each time. Really important that you sit up nice and high on your seat bones, keeping your shoulders back and keeping that upright posture. Now, as I go through each stretch, some of them will be more beneficial for you to hold for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. I won't be holding the stretches for that long, but what I will say is I'll tell you as and when to pause the video so that you can hold the stretch for a little bit longer to get the full benefit. Okay. So before we come down to our mat or our towel, we're going to do some seated stretches, okay? So let's start off with our hamstring. So you're going to extend one leg nice and long and pull the sole of your foot in towards your inner thigh. This long extended leg, you're going to pull the toe back towards you, so flex the ankle and the toe back towards you, keeping this knee nice and relaxed. Then going to bring our chest towards our knee and reach down towards our ankle. You don't have to pull back on your toe. If you would like to use your toes as leverage, by all means do that, but it's more important that you keep that toe flexed back and you're aiming for chest to knee, not forehead to knee. If you want to get a little bit more out of the stretch, what you can also do is pull your glute, your butt cheek, back a little bit, so you're stretching the hamstring from the top attachment underneath the glute, and then you're stretching from the bottom attachment by pulling the toes towards you. Hinging forward, chest to knee, nice and soft. Now you can hold this stretch for anything up to a minute and a half, whatever's comfortable. So if you want to hold the stretch for a little bit longer, feel free to press pause now. Okay, we're going to go in towards the other side. Taking one leg nice and long, sole of foot in towards the inner thigh. Flex the toe back towards you, you're going to bring chest to knee. Now one side, and it's really common in stretching, one side may feel a little bit tighter than the other, and that's just all to do with muscular dominance and imbalances. Again, if you want a little bit more from the stretch, pull the glute back by just flattening out your butt cheek, keeping that toe flexed back towards you, reaching down towards your ankle or your toe, knee nice and relaxed. Again, if you want to hold the stretch for a little bit longer, press pause now. You can hold for about another minute. Good work. Okay, we're going to come down to a lying position now. And we're going to go into your glutes. So, lying down flat on the floor, head and shoulders down on your mat. We're going to bring our right ankle up over our left knee. Okay? From here we're going to use our hands to grab behind our left thigh and then gently coming back down towards the mat, keeping a firm grip on the back of your thigh there. If you want a bit of a deeper stretch, come up underneath your knee crease. Now if that feels comfortable, then what I want you to do is just pull in a little bit closer towards you and increase that range. Now this glute stretch is ideal if you can hold for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. And what you would do is you would wait for the stretch to feel a little bit more comfortable each time, and then increase by pulling the knee a little bit closer to the chest at different increments. Okay, holding for a maximum of 3 to 5 minutes. Anything more than 2 minutes is a bonus. Okay, so feel free to pause the video now to hold for a little bit longer. And we're going to change sides, so releasing that leg, letting the foot fall down to the floor, and then we're just going to take the legs long, stretch out those hip flexors before we go into the other side. So Feet up on the floor. And this time we're going to bring our left ankle over our right knee. Hands up around the outside of the right thigh. Bringing back down to the floor with you. This side again, it might feel different from the other side just due to muscular imbalances. Increase that stretch as and when that feels comfortable. Keeping that nice, steady, shallow breathing. Again, press pause now for you to hold the stretch a little bit longer, anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, releasing that leg, taking both of the legs long and stretching out through your hip flexors. Alright, we're going to come up to sitting, so rolling onto your side, coming up to your sitting position. We're going to come over onto our side now, and we're going to do a lying quad stretch as opposed to a standing quad stretch. So lying down on your side, both legs long. With your top leg, we're going to put our hand around the front of our ankle, okay, or roughly where your laces would sit on your shoe. The reason I say that is if you grip your toes, you've got too much flexion in the ankle there and you won't get a really decent fit. So holding on around the front of your ankle extensors, pull your heel to your bottom, keeping your knees together and pushing your hips forwards. Now, if you ever suffer with knee pain, for example, when you're walking downhill or your knees feel particularly tight, a lot of the time it could be that you have tight quads. So your main muscle, your bicep femoris and your quads, it holds a lot of tension, and that's your fast twitch muscle fibre. So if you're pretty quad dominant, like most people tend to be, most women tend to be, your quads will try and take over every move. So for example, when you first start doing squats, you might feel them more in your quads and in your glutes, and that's normal, just until you sort out that dominance between your glutes and your quads. Now what can happen is, as your quads attached to your patella, which is your kneecap, and as your quads get tight and overworked, they shorten. And it pulls your kneecap slightly up and out of alignment, which can cause some stabbing knee pain. So if you do suffer with knee pain, do this lying quad stretch or standing quad stretch. It's exactly the same, but just standing, holding onto a wall for extra balance, and that should help to alleviate some knee discomfort. Any doubts, talk to your and release. Well done. Coming around to the other side. So using your elbow just to stabilise you directly under the shoulder. Legs nice and long, holding around your ankle extensor. Knees together, pushing hips forwards. And again, remember one side will feel slightly different from the other, and that's normal. Feel free to pause here to hold for a longer stretch. And release. Okay, we're going to come up to hip flexors now, and a lot of people do suffer with tight hips. So we're going to start in a kneeling position. I'm slightly off camera here, but you'll still be able to hear me. Kneeling position. You're going to bring your foot forward, so you've got a 90-degree bend through this front leg and a 90-degree bend through your back leg. Then we're going to take this front foot forward just one more step further, and we're going to bring all of our weight forward into this front foot, and then leaning slightly back. So where you will feel this is the hip flexor in your back leg. So all that weight forward into that front foot, chest up, back nice and straight, leaning slightly back. Nice big stretch through that back hip flexor. If you need something to hold on to here, like a dining chair or something that you can help you stabilize yourself, or if you don't like weight bearing on your knees on a hard floor on a mat, maybe try popping a pillow or a folded up towel underneath that back knee. Pushing back nice and gently, and switching sides. 90-degree bend through the front knee, 90-degree bend through the back knee. One more step forward in that front foot, all that weight forward into that front leg, and then leaning back slightly to get a nice big stretch here through this back hip flexor. Again, using something low level if you need a little bit of extra stability here. Keeping that lean back, chest up nice and straight, and gently pushing back. And coming back to sitting. So they are really quite foundational lower body stretches, and they're the ones, they are my they're my go-to exercise, go-to stretches for lower body. They cover the major groups. So we did our abductors, which are our inner thighs, our glutes, our quads, our hamstrings, and our hip flexors. As the weeks progress, I will also be adding in stretches to do with calves, to do with your psoas, to go then into the lower back and then to travel up into the upper body. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to comment on the video or message me directly via email, rachelmacpt@gmail.com.